What's going on, my good people? Mike Hidalgo here. Thank you for joining us on another FCP Hero DIY. Today we're going to be working on a 2011 Audi Q7 TDI. Today on the Q7 behind me, we're going to be covering how to do an oil change. This is going to be applicable to any Audi Volkswagen with the 3-liter TDI engine in it. We're using our liquid moly oil. Comes with 9 liters of 5W30 Top Tech, which is great for diesel engines, as well as a new Mala oil filter that comes with a new O-ring for the oil filter cap, and a new Corteco drain plug and crush washer. We recommend you do this service every 5,000 miles at most, and with our lifetime replacement guarantee, doing that makes it pretty easy. It takes one less stress of vehicle ownership. Now we know what kind of parts we're going to be working with for today. Let's take a look at the tools you're going to need to do this oil change. And now for tools. For this oil change DIY, we're going to need a couple basic tools, starting with a 3/8 drive ratchet. A 1/4-inch ratchet will work as well. We have a 10mm socket and a T25. That's going to be responsible for removing the hardware underneath the vehicle for a splash shield. We have a 6mm hex for the drain plug itself, a 32mm socket for our oil filter cap, and then a small pick which will help with O-rings and getting stuck washers off, as well as a torque wrench so that we can torque everything down properly. A nice to have but not necessary for this job is an impact wrench just to speed up the removal of the shield hardware. And we're also going to be using our CTA no spill oil funnel. Now we know what tools we're working with, let's get started on this DIY. All right, my good people, to start off this oil change, we're going to start in the engine bay, and we're going to remove our beauty cover first, as well as our oil fill cap. That way everything can breathe easily when we're draining the oil. And we're going to crack the oil filter cap free as well. Let's get started. To get this beauty cover off, you're going to pull towards you and lift up very gently. It's just a couple rubber grommets that hold it into place. These are going to be your 4 rubber grommets that are used to hold this beauty cover onto the engine. With that, we can remove our oil fill cap located on the driver's side of the engine. Just set that to the side. And I'm going to grab some shop towels and kind of just shove them around where the oil filter goes. And then we'll grab our 32mm socket and just crack it free. Again, 32mm socket. And we'll just go ahead and leave that there for now. Now let's head under the Q7 so we can go ahead and get this oil drained. All right, my good people, we're under the Q7 now. To get to the drain plug, we have to remove this forward skid plate. It's held on by 4 10mm bolts and 10 T25s. We're missing a few of those 10 T25s, so just bear with us, but let's zap this off really quick to get to our drain plug. Set those 4 10mm to the side. Just using a 10mm socket on my impact to speed things up a bit. And I'm going to do the same thing with the T25s. T25 torque spit on the quick impact. All right, my good people, we are under the Q7. We're just about ready to drain our oil. To get to the drain plug, we need to remove our skid plate. We have 8 10mm bolts to remove, so let's get to it. I'm using a 10mm socket on an impact. You can use a ratchet, whatever works. This will just zap them off really quick. The drain plug is literally located between the rearward skid plate and the forward skid plate. So to avoid making a mess, I'm going to zap off the front real quick. Give me 2 seconds to set up for that. To remove the drain plug, you're going to need a 6mm hex on an overkill extension. Break that free. Cover ourselves in oil while we're at it, and our tools. Now that our oil is done draining, we're going to wipe up our area and install our new drain plug and crush washer. Now we're going to go ahead and torque this down with our 6mm hex to 18 foot-pounds. Love it. Now we can go ahead and reinstall the skid plate. It's held on again by 10 T25s and 8 10mm bolts. So let's zap that back on. Now we have our 10mm bolts to put back in, so let's zap those back on, along with the remainder of our skid plate. Boom, baby. Now we have our skid plates buttoned up. Let's head back up top and replace our oil filter and top this thing off with some fresh liquid moly oil. Now that we have drained our oil and installed our new drain plug and buttoned up the underneath, we can work on finishing everything from up top, starting by removing our old oil filter. So let's do that. When you pull out this filter, you'll notice the indexing nipple on it. You want to make sure your new one goes in the same way. You don't want to accidentally break it or put it in the wrong way and then you have some plastic floating in there. This is pointing, or this is on the firewall side of things, so make sure you feed your new one in the same way. We're going to take this old filter out and remove this old cap O-ring and then swap in some fresh stuff. We have our new O-ring on our cap. We have our filter. The bottom of our O-ring on the locating nipple is also lubricated. Let's feed our filter in first. We're just looking for that locating nipple to situate itself. We can take off our shop towels that we put in here. And now we can thread our cap on, just making sure we're gentle with the lines we're clearing up top here. Once we get that started by hand, we can grab our 32mm socket and tighten everything down. We're going to torque this puppy down to 35 Newton meters, and if you ever forget, Audi's nice enough to leave that torque spec on the cap itself. So let's set our torque wrench at 35 Newton meters. Love it. Now let's grab our no-spill oil funnel and get to filling. We're going to take our no-spill funnel and thread it onto our oil fill cap over here, or oil fill tube, I'm sorry. And then we'll take our 9 liters of 5W30 and just start pouring them in. Don't forget, liquid moly bottles come with a windshield sticker. You can write down your interval, your mileage, any additives that you've put in the oil. With that done, we can go ahead and remove our funnel, put our cap back on, and slap that beauty cover back on. Oil cap secured. Beautiful, baby. And there you have it, my good people. Another DIY in the books. Overall, a pretty straightforward one, but definitely a good one to know and a good one to do. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments on what we did today, leave them in the comment box below. And if you like this DIY and you want to see more like them, please consider subscribing. We make new ones all the time. As always, thank you for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.